Section B of the test paper. Terry works for a company. The managers of the company want to introduce a cycle to work scheme, and Terry must design a data summary sheet to show some information about the employees. The sheet must show the department where each employee works, sales, finance, human resources, whether each employee wants to join the scheme, yes or no, the total number of employees who want to join the scheme, the total number of employees who do not want to join the scheme, and then you've got a table with the different names of staff, what department they work in, and yes or no to that question. So I'm just going to do a quick example of how to do it on this page, because this little part of the page is a good place for you to test your idea. So we have a table, can have different columns. Now, let's look back at what it said it wanted to record. It wants to record, right, the department where they each work. But to do that, we need name first, don't we? Because we need to know the name of the person. So here, we're going to put name. Here, we're going to put department. Then the other questions were, would they join the scheme, yes or no? So here, we're going to put yes, scheme, no, scheme. Okay, so this is just a basic example. You're obviously going to do this in more detail, and so will I in a second. And here you put Abby. Does she want to join the scheme? What department is she in? HR, and she does want to join the scheme. Okay, so that's a good place on the page to test what you're going to draw as a final answer. And then, as you see, on the next page, there is a nice blank page for you to work with. So you're going to draw a nice big table, just like the one I started drawing over the other side. Again, it's going to have the 4 columns. We're going to put name up here. You're going to put department, so DEP will work. We're going to put yes, scheme, no, scheme. And what will happen is you'll write all of those names in. So Abby, June, Bob, Cam, Des, Shirley, Mick and Katie, okay, you'll notice that this is probably the longest question on the test paper to answer, but it's all right, it's worth a few marks, so it's worth the time. And it's fairly simple once you've practiced this a few times, doing a data collection sheet. So Abby was in department HR, so HR, S, F, S, S and F, and then I put the ticks in. So tick here, no for that one, tick, tick. Then what do we have? Cam was a yes, and then Des was a no. Then we have Shirley was a yes, and Mick was a yes. Sorry about the sound outside there. It's just some traffic, some angry people. Right, we need to add up the columns on the table for the yes, and you'll find that we have 5 here, nice and easy. And for the no, we have 3. So that's the answer to that question. Let's go to the next one. Terry is buying an electric bike through Cycle to Work scheme. She has to pay £750 when she gets her bike, and 12 monthly instalments of £56.85. So again, this is a very functional question because it's similar to things we often pay for in real life. You pay a deposit and then maybe something every month. Most likely example of that you'll be using would be your phone on a phone contract. So what we need to do is we need to do 750 plus 12 times by £56.85, right? Because that's what the question says. Although the biggest mistake made by students here is you need to understand something. You need to understand more complex ideas when you go to level 2, but for now, you need to know that multiplication should always take place before addition. Okay, so that means we do the 12 times by the £56.85 first, which gives us £682.20. You need to add the original amount here, which is £750. You end up with £1,432.20. I'm not a genius. I'm just copying out answers already written down, but you will be using a calculator. Please make sure you use a calculator. You're allowed one in the test. It's an easy way to lose marks. Okay, for the check, to show a check, remember you can do something in reverse. So you start with your answer from the previous question, pounds and 20 pence. And instead of doing what we did here, which was to add, the opposite function of add is subtract. And you're going to subtract, how much was it? We are going to subtract 750. And hopefully we are going to end up with, use your calculator to check, and you end up with £682.20, which is good because that's what we started with here. So that check showed you made no mistakes. All right, question 5. Terry wants to use her cycle to work scheme. The journey to work is 18 miles. Terry thinks it will take 4 minutes to cycle each mile of this journey. She thinks it will take her 1.25 hours to cycle the 18 miles to work. Right, so the first part of this is very simple. You're going to cycle 18 miles. It's 4 minutes a mile, so 4 minutes times 18 gives you 72 minutes. Okay, now the statement from the person in this question is Terry saying that he thinks 72 minutes is the same as 1.25 hours. Is that true? Well, what does 1.25 hours equal? Well, 1 hour equals 60 minutes. A quarter of an hour would be 60 divided by 4. It's 15 minutes. So 1.25 hours is 75 minutes. So no, 72 minutes is not the same as 75. So no, Terry is not correct. Remember, you need to write your answer in words. Okay, question 6. Terry has a space where employees can park their bikes. She needs to choose a type of bike rack for this space. Okay, there's a table shown in this question. It's got A to G, different options. Those options have maximum capacities for bikes, lengths, widths, and different types of fixings. It says you need to choose one that has a capacity for at least, which means 5 or more bikes, and have a ground fixing. Process of elimination, same as question 1 in part A. So you get rid of all the ones that have less than 5. So those 2 are gone straight away. You get rid of all the ones that don't have ground fixing. So this one has a ground fixing, a wall fixing, sorry, and these 2 have wall fixings. So we don't want those. That leaves us with the option of C or E. So if you gave the answer C or you gave E, both of those are correct, okay? But whichever one you choose affects the answer for the next question. So the next question says, Terry wants to put 1 row of bike racks along a wall, okay? Very important what you're looking at here. You can see this grid below. This is called a scale drawing, okay? They happen on every single level 1 test paper, scale drawings. You can practice those at home. The important bit of information is there's a key, or what sometimes we call a scale. It says 1 square is 50 centimeters. So it means 1 square is 50 centimeters this way. It's 50 centimeters this way. Okay, very important. Okay, Terry wants to put 1 row of bike racks along a wall. Okay, look at the key. The wall is in grey. So this is the wall here. So we're going to put the bike racks along there. Okay, how do we know what size the bike racks are? Well, you just chose 2 options, and that was C or E. Okay, and let's show the example with C. It's 200 by 50. So C is 200 by 50. If each square is 50 along, how many squares make up 200? The answer is 4. If each square is 50 wide, how many make up 50? 50 into 50 is 1. So to draw C, you draw it along the wall, as I showed a second ago, and it's 4 by 1, like this. Okay, you want to draw as many as you can. I'm going to do these different colours so you can see they're different bike racks all the way along until you can't fit any more in. And that's it. You can't fit any more bike racks along there. Okay. As I said, you could have chosen E as an option before, and then you would have just literally drawn bike racks which were, instead of being 4 by 1, because the size of E was 300, how many 50s go into 300? How many 50s go into 300? The answer is 6. So you would draw 6 across. And it was still 50 wide, so it'd be 6 by 1. And then you would draw as many of those as possible along the top.